Hello everyone and welcome in this second video on the gerund. We'll be focusing on preposition plus ing form in this chapter, and it's 27. Okay, so what I wrote here is that this chapter focuses on the gerund after prepositions. Okay, here it is important to know some preposition collocations. You might remember that a collocation is a word combination that often occurs together. And here these are phrases that have their typical prepositions. So later on we'll be doing exercises and you will see that you often have to add the correct preposition, but it's quite difficult in the sense that there are no specific rules for when you have to use which preposition. So this is something that you have to guess with either your gut feeling or guess by studying them really well. So that's the reality about these prepositions. To make this a little bit more clear, I added a few examples. So we've got combinations with adjectives plus prepositions plus gerund, nouns plus prepositions plus gerund, and then also finally verbs plus prepositions plus gerund. You can see that I wrote here two phrases with adjectives, with nouns, and then four with verbs. So you are so bad at remembering phrases. To be bad at something is a preposition collocation with an adjective, right? And then you add the ing form. Here the same thing. I add to be tired of. I am tired of looking for a job, right? Again, to be tired of is an adjective here. We hated the thought of walking that far. The thought of, right? The thought is of course the noun here. What are the chances of getting ill? The chances of, right? And then four preposition collocations with verbs. He apologized for not sending in the task. She is thinking about traveling to Vienna. Note that we have the same verb here but a different preposition. I've been thinking of staying with her all night. Thinking about and thinking of are, well, most of the times interchangeable, but sometimes it differs a little bit. Well, you'll have to guess here. And he insisted on doing the dishes, to insist on something. So this will be mainly the hard part, to get the preposition right. Okay. There's a few exceptions over here, so exceptional rules, right? Ook na, look forward to, be used to, and object to volgt de gerund, niet de infinitief. Why is this confusing? Because this ends with to, these phrases, and normally after to we write a infinitive, but we're not going to do so now. No, we're going to use the ing form. And you, of course, you might remember the phrase, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the future, or seeing you again. And you notice that after this to, we use an ing form. Here we have the similar phrase, I'm looking forward to meeting him again. Okay, this is a bit complex. De gerund wordt ook gebruikt na uitdrukkingen als how, what about, be worth and feel like. How about going to a movie this evening? It's not worth waiting. I feel like going for a walk, and so on. And then there's also a few independent prepositions, right? They are not preceded, for instance, by an adjective, a noun, or a verb, but they're just independently in a sentence, and they're also followed by an ing form, as you can see here. Before opening the letter, she took a deep breath. You can save 10% by booking online. Okay, instead of waiting, I went to another shop. And she left without saying goodbye. If you read the summary over here, then you will see that it will actually not help you that much with giving rules, because there aren't that many rules. It just says, na voorzetsels en na bepaalde uitdrukkingen volgt de gerund, niet de infinitief. So especially this part is quite abstract, na bepaalde uitdrukkingen. So sometimes it is the case and sometimes it's not. Unfortunately, there are no very specific rules. Once more. Okay, so for the exercise, we'll be doing the exact same thing as the previous video. We'll do a few together here, and then the idea is that you're going to finish the rest of them. In the very first exercise, we have to choose the correct option. Are you good in making decisions, or are you good at making decisions? Now, of course, you might think it's the very first option. Why? Because, of course, in Dutch we say ben je goed in het maken van beslissingen. But these are false friends, as we call them. False friends are sentences in English that are not quite the same as in Dutch, but we have to change them a little bit. And here it is dependent on the preposition. So we're going to write, are you good at making decisions? B is the correct option. So again, there's no specific rule to learn which preposition you have to use. It's just well, something you'll need to study. Ed got the job without having an interview, or Ed got the job without to have an interview. Now, of course, you already hear that this doesn't seem to sound right, and when you thought this, you are correct, because A is here the correct option. A got the job without having an interview. Guys, without is one of these independent prepositions that are followed by this ing form gerund. Okay, so I'll show you the rule once more. It's over here. Right, without. Okay, let's go to B. We have to well, formulate the sentences differently using the correct preposition and the gerund here. Sandra doesn't mind working on Saturdays. So you'll see that this becomes Sandra is used to working on Sundays. This is a similar phrase to I'm looking forward to meeting you again, or seeing you again, or whatever. So that's one of these constructions. I'd like to meet your new boss becomes I'm interested in meeting your new boss. Again, the challenge will be in this exercise to always get the preposition right. Let's have a look at C. Complete these dialogues with the preposition and the gerund or the infinitive to, right? The chances of getting a last-minute holiday are not very good. Of getting is the correct option here. Again, you'll have to get the preposition right. Well, we can't afford to pay the full price. Let's go on with the translations. So we hebben een boot gekocht in plaats van op vakantie te gaan. This becomes we have bought a boat, or we bought a boat instead of going on a holiday. Right? We have bought a boat instead of going on holiday. And Paul is against buying a new car. Preposition followed by ing form. Good. So that's it for this kind of hard chapter on the gerund, and we will continue later on with the infinitive or the gerund. Thank you for watching.